How's it going, everybody? I'm Jeff Slakey with Tracing the Fjord, and I have got two great guests to talk about health and longevity. From Blue Zones Activate in Mason County, Executive Director Julie Knott and Public Health Director Dave Windom. How y'all doing?
Good.
Doing great.
Good to see you and talk with you, and nice to catch up with you again, Dave. Julie, you and I became aware of each other a few weeks ago as you are now in our community and working with Blue Zones and Blue Zones Activate in kind of a pilot program to help explain and help the folks in Mason County get a few more years out of their life, a little extra longevity in their life. It's part of a program too that's happening in Lewis County and Grays Harbor County. So for those who aren't aware, what's Blue Zones? What's the mission of Blue Zones? How do we define them?
Blue Zones is a program to increase the longevity of people around the world, and for this particular day it's Mason County, and it's a combination of lifestyle habits that you can develop to increase longevity and certain things you can do in your community that support that.
When we talk about the current health of our community, Dave, what would you say are some of the averages that you may be aware of when it comes to the longevity here? We have seen reports over the years of how different impacts in our community versus the logging, versus the health effects. All these types of things add into how long somebody's going to live here in Mason County.
Right, so we do actually, it's surprising, we have a fairly older population that does well. So if you look at, we kind of picked the year 75 years old as a focus point. Okay. Anything below that, we take points against the county. Anybody passes way below that, it's called years of life lost. So if you die at 70, you got 5 negative years.
Okay.
Now, if we live over that, they don't credit us for the
wait a second, that doesn't seem right. But anyways.
Right. But what we're trying to do is not only increase the longevity, but to do it in a way that people are happier, healthier, and out in the community more.
One of the things that we're blessed with here, Julie, as you get to know our community, is the abundance of outdoor opportunities. And I know that with Blue Zones around the world, a lot of it is about getting out and getting active. How are you going to bring kind of what the Blue Zones ethos is and tweak it to the folks here in Mason County?
Well, I think the goal here will be to support any local initiative that's already been underway that the community already wants. I would say that this Blue Zone Activate project is like an accelerator for what Mason County has already hoped and planned for. Mm-hmm. Only this is more like an incentive or a gas pedal or some help to get there.
We talk a little bit about getting a couple extra steps every day here and there, but there are some other indicators and other ways that folks can partake and make themselves a little healthier. What are some of those things that you know of?
Well, you move naturally. You mow your lawn, you garden, you do things like that. Maybe you walk to school, maybe you walk to the grocery store, maybe you walk across the parking lot to get to the grocery store. It might be your diet. Maybe it has more of a plant slant than you had before, because meat is certainly a Blue Zone option, but definitely people who live longer better tend to have a plant-based diet. And it's also being around the people you love and community members and your family, really focusing on that. And that's another indicator of longevity, is having a purpose in life.
We have a lot of organizational groups, the Rotaries and the Kiwanis here in the community, Dave. That's got to help when you talk about, one, getting the word out there on what we do, but then these types of groups and community gatherings and people able to talk with each other and find commonalities.
Yeah, this is a great community. When I first moved here, I got tied into Rotary. It was a great way to push out into the community and learn who's who out there. And these people in the community really are active in belonging to groups. So we have a lot of that energy that's already here. So we're going to tap that energy and tap that dynamic of people who know each other and move this thing forward.
Over the next few months here, as folks get to know you more, Julie, what can we expect to see from Blue Zones Activate here in Mason County?
Well, we'll be at the Forest Festival.
Oh yeah, well you got to do Forest Festival.
And then we will be doing some policy work. We'll have an open house coming up here in the next 6 to 8 weeks. We'll have some community forums to help the community decide where to focus our energy, and that's all going to take place in the next 6 to 8 months. So look for those invitations on Facebook. I have a Facebook page. with 10 Facebook friends. So be my Facebook friend, please.
Hey, we'll put the notes in that. Hopefully we'll get you to 11 then.
Great.
Knott. Tell me about the wine part of Blue Zones Activate.
Well,
let's get people interested here.
The cool part about Blue Zones is Wine at 5, and that's where you meet with your family or your friends and you have a glass or two of wine and you downsize your day, you relax, and that goes with the good diet and the moving around and all the good things. But yeah, Wine at 5 is definitely a tenet of Blue Zones.
So this is a thing where folks are able to take what they currently do in their normal routine, and without a lot of major tweaking, they can help extend things a little bit on the edges.
We're just hoping to make moving and eating and making the right actions, taking the right actions easier.
I can imagine the seafood is probably on the list here somewhere. We have so much delicious seafood. That's got to be on there.
Food systems and food policy are definitely a part of this project. Access to food, where it goes, who buys it, helping out in any way that we can with those community needs if they come up.
Healthy living is a tenet of the Blue Zones. They're all around the world and kind of noted by their longevity. Populations living close to and near 100 years old around the world. And we're working hard here in Mason County to extend the lifespan of our great residents here. And one way to do that is by learning more, not only about what the Public Health Department does with Director Windom, but now with Julie Knott, the Executive Director of Blue Zones Activate here in Mason County. Really looking forward to getting some more information on this as we move through the summer. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Julie.
Thank you.